Okay, g'day guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk through the warm-up sequence for the strength block. So we're going to have a series of videos here where we're going to go through over our 4 big lifts with our technique so that you guys can refer back to this when you get time. You can look at it before we start. You can think about a couple of these cues. Of course, you'll have the coaches there helping you along the way. But first of all, we're going to talk about how we can get to our heavy weight. So when you turn up to each class, everybody is going to do the general phase warm up like we normally do, which is just where we're starting to get a little bit of cardio movement and some body weight movement. Then we're going to go through our prep phase like we already do. So nothing is going to change there. It's only from that point that we're going to start getting specific during the strength block. So today, for example, Sally's warming up for a back squat. So you'll notice on the bar here, she's got 5s on. Your target weight is, what are we aiming for today?
60 today.
60 kilos. So this is not hard and fast, this is a personal thing, but this is just an example of how we're going to go through warm-up sets. We don't rush this. We want to make sure that we're ready to go. And some days, if you're feeling fatigued, you may do an extra 1 or 2 warm-up sets before you actually get to your working sets, just to make sure you're both mentally and physically switched on. Shell's already done a set with an empty bar at this point. She did a set of 10. Now she's putting 5s on. She's going to do somewhere between 6 and 8. So again, it's not an exact science. It's more about feel without hitting fatigue. What we concentrate on here though is we hit our squat position, which we're going to discuss in the next video. The posture and position, or how the squat looks, our form, does not change from a warm-up set to our heavy set. So I expect Shell to look on every repetition through this how I want it to look when we start adding heavier weight. So we don't just go through the motions here and just do any style of squat just to rush through a warm-up. It's all about having purpose and intent when we're warming up so that our movement pattern stays the same. Okay, so Shell just did 6 repetitions there. Now, between warm-up sets, we still need to rest as well. We're not resting for that 2 to 5 minutes. We don't really need to do that because we're adjusting how many reps we do so we don't have too much fatigue. Shell is now onto her 3rd set, so an empty bar, 5s on each side, and then now she's up to 10. She did 6 last set. She said she feels good. She's going to do another 6 this time. All right, so again, it's no exact science. It's to make sure we're getting enough good repetitions. You'll notice here that her posture and position, or her form, has not changed. So it's control on the way down, she's exploding on the way up, she's getting her 6 repetitions done. If, for example, she felt like at 4 or 5, I'm starting to burn a little bit, she can stop. You don't have to stick with a number that you thought you were going to at the start. It's a little bit more about feel. All right, guys, so now Shell is into her 4th set. So we've done an empty bar with being 20 kilos, 5s on, which is so 30 kilos, 40, now we're up to 50 kilos. We're only aiming for 3 reps. So nothing changes again. She gets set, all right, she makes sure that she hits the range of motion, hasn't changed, her posture and position hasn't changed. Everything looks exactly like it did from when we had that very first squat in the warm-up. We're getting this 3rd rep out, and then we're racking that there. All right, we're up to our 5th warm-up set. So it sounds like a lot of warming up, however you know that the reps are dropping, so it actually goes quite quickly. Shell has just taken about 90 seconds between sets. As we're starting to get closer to our working weight, we drop we increase the rest. This one we've gone from 50 to 55 kilos. Remember, her target weight's 60. We're only going for 2 reps on this one. All right, so again, nothing changes. Posture and position, deliberate movement, and then she racks the barbell there. We don't want fatigue. We just want to feel comfortable with the weight. All right, guys, 6th set. Now, her target weight is 60 kilos. Shell's taken about nearly 2 minutes this time between sets. We've gone to 60 kilos. This is our 6th set. We're at working weight. However, we're just going for 1 rep. Now, this is purely just to make sure we're feeling good underneath the bar. Again, some days you're going to feel great, some days you're not going to feel so great. So this is just a bit of a tester. If it doesn't feel great, you can actually do another couple of sets. But we'll see how Shell feels here. Again, nothing changes. The movement pattern stays the same. So Shell's going to get under this barbell here. We're getting it off with intent. We're going to talk a little bit more about technique once we get into the squat, but from here it's bracing the same, it's control on the way down, posture and position look the same. She drives up out of the bottom, looks strong. All right, so she'll rack that 1 rep, feels good. Now she can walk away, recover long enough, and then we'll get into the working set. So that has taken us 6 sets to get to our first working weight. It doesn't take a huge amount of time But as I said, when we're getting closer to our working weight, we increase our rest a little bit, but the reps are dropping, so we're not getting any fatigue in there from there. This sequence will be similar for all of your lifts. Some lifts you might want to do additional sets. Some you might do a couple of less warming up sets on your presses if you're not having to go as heavy, all right? But we'll talk you through that on the day, and then you'll get pretty comfortable with it after the first couple of weeks anyway.